Today's episode is brought to you by Bearded Engraving. We specialize in engraving your custom logo or favorite photo on painted canvas, wood, acrylic, glass, and even leather. Always ready for custom work and will go above and beyond for you. Use promo code LASER to receive 10% off your first purchase. Find us on Facebook.com/Bearded Engraving and Etsy.com/Bearded Engraving. We appreciate the business and enjoy the show.
Hello! Welcome to the first episode of Insert Gaming Here's podcast. I'm your co-host, Morphine.
And I'm Nate the Laser, or Laser for short.
Alright, well, today we're going to be diving into some important topics around the nerdy world and what's going to be going on in the gaming industry, and it should be a fantastic time. But I think first, introductions are in order.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
So for those who don't know me, my name is Morphine. I have previously used this channel for speedrunning, but we are changing things around. We're going to be doing podcasts, we're going to be doing funny videos, we're going to be doing things that will blow your mind. But I also love MMOs. I love everything about MMOs. I have a Let's Play or Let's Replay segment on this channel about all the MMOs that I love back from the golden age of MMOs. I also love all things RPGs, including D&D, but it's kind of hard to play D&D when you got no friends. That's everything about me. Yeah. Give me a little music number there.
Play all by myself. I can't roll my dice.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
forever alone.
Yeah, just I battle a dragon, but it's not for a D&D game. His name's Dialon, and he spits on fire.
God damn it! Go ahead and give us an introduction, Nate. For the love of God.
So honestly, this is my first podcast. I'm a little shy, guys, and I'm sorry, but I didn't know if I could do my own intro. So thanks to COVID, I was able to afford a very famous actor to help me with my introduction, so that you guys could get to know me a little better. So I hope you enjoy. I present to you Morgan Freeman. Hello, I'm Morgan Freeman. I'm here today to tell you a story about a young boy named Nathan Bearden. Although he does not have any clout in the gaming industry and is only known for his speed runs and finishing a Debbie cake box, he grew up watching Jim Carrey and Robin Williams and thought to himself, I want to be like them, which led to a 10-year tenure at improv. You know, the things that help you get better at acting, but no one wants to go see the show. Beyond that, he acted at Cypress Gardens and the Pirate Show and the Cowboy Show. Both questionable sexual roles. He told me his favorite parts were wearing the stirrups and licking the poop deck. That is not accurate. Morgan Freeman. Anyway, if you can find Nathan on the Oculus Quest platform playing some of his favorite games that involve archery and a few others that enjoy hacking and slashing. At any point, if you feel like playing a game with Nathan or the Laser, you can look him up with the gamer tag Fast Baby Legs. That's right. You can jump on a game and find out just how fast his baby legs are. No offense to those who currently have baby legs. This is Morgan Freeman signing off. And remember, some birds are just not meant to be caged. Something like that. Thank you, Morgan Freeman. Oh my God, he did such a
What
good
a
job.
what an
And
absolute treasure Morgan Freeman
that's
is. It is he must be hurting if he's reaching out to you for some work, man.
I heard he's selling his freckles on Amazon.
Oh, well, that is amazing. I mean, how I don't know how someone can do that. Like that's incredible.
And each time you have to, and you have to eat it, and it gives you wisdom every time. Like you
Oh,
eat it one, and you just hear his voice in your head, and he goes, "Kangaroos can't jump backwards."
I was just gonna say I can use his freckles for my D&D campaigns, but we're just gonna cut that off. Like his freckles. All right, so we're gonna continue on, and we're gonna go into a little section and do some game reviews. Some games that excite us, that we are currently gaming on, or that we want to game on. Yeah, that gives our nipples a little hard.
I'm
First,
Jennifer Aniston on Friends right now. Oh my
oh
God.
my god, yes, all of that, all of that. So,
Just
so, God, I'm gonna shrink you. All right, so I know a lot of you guys have seen this title around floating around the gaming sphere. If you're not an MMO fan, you probably don't know a lot about it, but it needs a lot more praise coming closer to its first alpha gaming test. Its first alpha gaming test, and people are already talking about this game and how amazing it is. Now, is it the next WoW killer? Don't you fucking ruin this for me. Please. I want it to be. All of you want it to be. I'm tired of people talking about WoW. I don't know how many years, 17 years, something crazy. Like, it. We need a new MMO, guys.
Morph, just real quick, I have a very important question for you.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
what is Owen Wilson's favorite MMO game?
I don't know. What is it? What is it?
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry to pump the brakes on that one. Okay, so yeah, you tell me more about your MMO game you're talking
it's
about.
it's Ashes of Creation, guys. Ashes of Creation. And I know a lot of you have already heard about it, but it's freaking amazing. This game is awesome. And everybody is talking about this game, and in its current stage, it is just fantastic. The developers are throwing a lot of promises out there, and it's something that we have to watch out for, just like in every game that we've been promised with, and it leads to disappointment. And I'm hoping that this isn't the case with Ashes of Creation. So just to give this game a little bit of backstory, Ashes of Creation is known as a Sandpark MMO. If you've never played a Sandpark MMO before, it just basically means you have the freedom to do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You can construct towns, and the game focuses on PvP and PvE content. Now, the creative director, Stephen Sharif, of Ashes of Creation, provided out of his own pocket $30 million just to get this goal of even just starting the game, just to work, just to come to fruition. Like, this guy is a saint. Like, he is Saint Mary of the gaming community. This guy is willing to just dish out money to help everybody else. The game is focusing on a non-pay-to-win system, which is always good news. Yes.
Yay.
We need more games like this, guys. We definitely do. Especially in a time where game studios are promising so much and not delivering on that aspect. The game has no initial cost. It's going straight just to subscription. So if you hate the game and it's not what you expect, cut that subscription off. You only paid $15. You're good to go. So they're already looking at this game from a marketing standpoint. They already know what their common goal is, which is just making me salivate as I talk about it. It's absolutely amazing. The game works off a node system. Now, if you look at the node system on paper, it may seem complicated, but it's really not that hard to understand. So you got specific parts of the world, where in many cases they're called zones, that are considered nodes. Now, as you progress and you kind of move around these nodes, collecting, killing things, doing extra stuff, the node is going to level up. And upon reaching the next level, it's going to, have a place where a settlement can be dropped, or it can have dungeons and raids. New creatures are going to come into the zone. So just imagine you're playing a game where you leave an area, you come back, and it's forever changing, and it emulates real life in a great way. And it's just so amazing what the developers are doing here at Intrepid Studios. They are putting a lot of aspects into this game that is promising. Now the problem with this is, will they stick to these promises? We've been let down before, and the last thing I want to do is talk about Ashes of Creation as a failed MMO. Like we have been begging for an MMO that will stick to the sands of time and actually be able to compete with the big AAA titles that are out now. Also, if you haven't checked out a great review for Ashes of Creation, go check out Lazy Peon's channel. He does a fantastic video. He talks about the development and by far says the best things about this game. It's great. And just to give a little praise to the developers and what they're doing, the best way that you can support Ashes of Creation is by going to their support page on their website. They have a bunch of packages that you can buy. They're not cheap by any means. The starting pack is about $75. The most expensive one is around $375.
Holy moly.
Yeah, but you get a lot of good things with these packs. I mean, a
Tell me
lot of
about
good
the
things.
treats.
So the treats include access to the Alpha 2 test, because the Alpha 1 test has already been supported for, and they're basically moving people along. You can get access to the Beta 1 test, the Beta 2 test. You get 9 months of in-game playing time. 9 months.
Ooh.
They're giving you time to play the game by supporting them. That's insane. I don't think I've ever heard of an MMO actually doing something like that. They're gonna give you 120.
Is that character
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Is that character development going to carry over to the actual game?
No,
Like,
I don't think it will, because generally in most MMO titles, whenever you're in the alpha and beta sections of the game, they usually just cut the characters off, delete them, and start everybody fresh when the game fully launches. So unfortunately, yes, that will be the case.
I guess keep it fair then. Keep it fair.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So you're gonna get $125 in Embers, which is their in-game marketplace currency, to buy all your cosmetics and stuff. And yes, it's not pay to win. So no overpowered weapons that you're gonna be paying out of pocket for. None of that. Like, we are getting fully cosmetic stuff. So, and no cheating, guys. No cheating in this game. You're gonna get cosmetic skins, a hammer skin, a pet skin, a mount skin, a costume skin, a naval skin, a garrison skin, and even they're gonna let you reserve your name for your character in the future. So yes, it is expensive, but you get all these amazing features to add into your game. It's phenomenal, phenomenal, and I can't wait for it. I know a lot of you MMO guys out there and gals. You guys are gonna get an amazing game, hopefully, and we will be talking about this game as it climbs closer and closer towards release date. So stay tuned with that.
So it sounds like a fan literally built this for the other people that enjoy this as much as he does. The developer and creator. The fact that
Yeah,
he
most
just
definitely.
pocketed $30 million to create something that could potentially replace like you were saying, the biggest titles right now in
Oh
the
yeah,
MMO and RPG
yeah, and
fantasy stuff.
he's got people from teams that are from Guild Wars 2 and other big projects that are actually on his team helping him build. Like, they see the development that he's going through and wanting to join that development. That should tell you something.
But we wish him wisdom and fortune through this pathway of creating an awesome game.
Yeah, a little bit of Morgan Freeman freckles. So Nate, I heard you got us a fantastic game that we need to hear about. I've been wanting to hear about it. Let us hear about it.
Oh, we're gonna have to stretch for this one
Oh,
because it's
he's.
that epic.
Oh, we're gonna have to watch out, guys.
And for most VR, it is good to stretch because you got to be active for VR. It's actually helped me lose a little bit of weight. So yeah, let's slice into this delicious, creamy, velvety cake of Warhammer Studios Battle System.
Nice.
Yes, I like that one. December 8th, 2020, this amazing game dropped on the Oculus Quest platform and other CVR platforms. But yeah, it has been out for a couple months. But people are sleeping on one of the best games out there for the Oculus and one of the two new titles from Warhammer Studios. Like many of us gamers out there, you're probably familiar with the Warhammer Studios universe, the Imperial Galactic Army, and all the evilness that lurks at the darkest corners of the Outer Rims. But what makes this game special is that, yes, you are acquainted with this wonderful, rich story that they've created over the years of game and what we've done in gaming of the Space Marines. But this one you get to play as a special sect of the Imperial Army, or Galactic Army, I should say. That's right, you play as a hardcore nun and not the one you search for on the hub. I know who you are. You nasty. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's normal, whatever. But I'm talking about Adepta Sororitas. When translated means, may I have more guacamole, please? That is incorrect. It's actually Latin for Sisters of Battle. That's right, warrior nuns. What's the only thing cooler than that? John Wick Jesus? Oh, I mean, that's actually pretty cool. We'll get into that another day. What if they had machine guns? Exactly. Nuns with machine guns. You've got the bolter pistol, the bolter machine gun, grenade launchers. But I'll even up the ante and one up you with chainsaw swords. That's right. You can't have a 40,000 universe without
Oh yeah,
chainsaw
yeah.
swords.
You can't.
But it's not like these sisters need help hacking their enemies in half. These bad biddies were bred for battle from birth for the Imperial Galactic Army. And since they were raised from birth to do battle with all the evilness and those who oppose the Emperor, they've developed inhuman strength and reflexes. And I know what you're saying. Is that even fair? A
No,
little,
no.
and maybe not. But they're going to need it because the evilness that lurks in every corner, if you don't know already, they have the daemons. We're talking about the evil creatures from other dimensions that have found a portal way and are working with the infidels of the Space Marines that did not want to be a part of the Imperial Galactic Army. But screw those guys. They've teamed up with the evil people that have disregarded their duties to the Imperial Army. That's right. These daemons, which is literally just demons, but I like to call them Matt Damons because it makes the game a lot more funny when I visualize Matt Damon coming at me from all angles. And well, that doesn't sound right. But anyway, you have to battle hordes of Matt Damon's infidel space marines, but and not like I just say infidel and it's just a term. They're not like coming at you with their chainsaw swords going, obviously. And if I hope I don't offend any infidel space marines out there. Terrorism isn't funny, Nathan. Goodness gracious. But that's right. You're going to battle through multiple levels, open levels, where you have to face the infidel space marines as they attack the homeworld of the Adepta Sororitas, or Sisters of Battle. Outnumbered, outgunned, you have to battle your way through each level, which again could be open levels where they come at you from all angles, or tight corridors where you get surrounded very quickly and you have to strategically work your way through. But honestly, what I love about this game is you can jump right in. The levels do progressively get harder as any other game would be. They strategically place weapons, especially when you're facing bosses. So you literally have to make sure you know where to go, work your way to certain spots, be able to reload. The realistic factor in VR, which was what I love, is that you have to not rack your weapon, but you have to load your weapon. There's certain buttons you have to do. You don't just press B and it loads it for you. No, it's real hand-eye coordination, folks, and that's what I love about it. I
That's
personally
amazing.
suck at PC games and console games, short of like Minecraft, which I haven't played that in 10 years. That's very true. But I stink at those games, but for some reason, VR, I love it. I've done weapons training for some of the acting things that I've done before, and oh my gosh, I love
Oh yeah, VR
the
is
actual
amazing.
feel of loading the magazine into the bolter pistol, and also dual wielding, well, either dual wielding swords or having my electrified broadsword with the bolt pistol. It's one of my favorite combinations in the game.
You know, it's amazing.
Um,
Like VR has come such a long way.
so much. It, so in this game, it's a hack and slash shoot 'em up. At no point was I running out of ammo on anything. You can hold up to 4 different weapons because these sisters of battle, they come prepared. There are some times where they do strip you, and you have to work your way through and pick up other weapons from the bad guys and work your way through the level. There's a couple of those like that, which I do enjoy, not being loaded to the teeth. And again, there are parts where you have to strategically get through the room of bad guys. And like I said, there's only a couple levels that I've run into so far that you do, like, your grenade launcher can only hold so much. You don't pick up ammo from bad guys. It's what you can find that's been placed, again, strategically through the level. I love hacking the enemies up. It literally has a gore factor level. So when you go into your settings, if you are the younger one and you don't want nightmares from killing Matt Damon's, you can put it on 0, and I don't know because I don't play it on that because I'm not a snowflake. I'm pretty sure it might be confetti or glitter when you hit them. I don't know. That's not accurate. Me, I turned that son of a gun all the way to 11, and I know what you're going to say. Why don't you just make 10 more gory? And then
Well,
I'm going to say,
what I'm gonna say is why did they ever turn that out of games? Like when Mortal Kombat introduced the gore level to games, why did that just like suddenly disappear? And now we got a VR game introducing that back. Like, please, like, give it to me.
literally, you can shoot your bad guys in the head. Their head explodes. You can shoot limbs off.
Oh, that's
Again,
amazing.
the sword, you hack them to pieces. The bodies even last for a little bit, so if you're on a little bit of the crazy side like me, you can still have a little bit of fun kicking their body and having a good old time. Sorry, this is also a therapy session. Mommy didn't love me. No. But anyway, um again, I'm even stuck on a level right now. It's a short corridor. You can't move around too much. Um and you kill a couple guys and all of a sudden you get spawned Matt Damons all around you, and you have to, it's honestly, you're redlining the entire level, and it's basically the only way I've even gotten close to getting through it. Um so a couple of the downsides. Again, realistic to the point where you have to load the weapon. All VR games right now with guns are pretty cool like that. The only thing I take away from it, and it's a lot of my critiques on many of the VR games, it's the swords. Is it cool to hack a Matt Damon up with a sword? Yes.
Yes.
An electrified broadsword or the chainsaw sword, just, you get a little bit of vibration on that, so you get a little bit of feedback, but the sword play is pretty two-dimensional. You hack and
Mm.
slash, and you get to block a little bit. You can block incoming fire with the broadsword, which is pretty cool, but you have to be dead on with your holding the sword in front of you wherever they're shooting. So some cool aspects, but again, swordplay kind of falls short in VR, and I take it with a grain of salt because I know things are being developed. this is really where VR's come from 10 years ago is leaps and bounds. And I can't wait to see what comes out in the next 5 years right now
Oh
with all the
yeah.
things being developed. I'm sure we'll do some videos on some of the stuff that's come out in the latest
Oh, definitely, definitely.
development stuff. But there's only been a couple games that I know of that give a better feedback to the sword play. But again, this one falls short on that. But basically, if you're a Warhammer Studio universe fan, you love the lore, you want to be enveloped in it, this game, you can't get better. VR is so immersive. Within a minute of jumping into that game and starting to play, I feel like I am a space marine or a battle sister. Not I mean, it would be atrocious for me to be a nun in the first place.
Oh yeah, it'd be.
I, I'm not. I could never wear
You're
white.
you're you're not nun built.
I'm not. What the nun? Um,
Well, let me tell you like the best like sword game that I was immersed with, and it's really the only like VR game that I've ever played. Was at a local Dave and Buster's, and it was the Vader Immortals story, and that game was insane. Like being able to use a lightsaber and fight Darth Vader was the coolest experience.
so over Christmas, my family was surprised me with a quest because I
Oh man,
been
that's
wanting
awesome.
one for so long. I was going to a virtual arcade at a mall, which I know some people don't even know what that is now, especially after COVID. But there was an actual virtual reality arcade. He had 6 booths, and I got to. That's where I picked up my chops playing the different games. But yes, one of the first things I bought was Vader Immortal, the first episode,
Nice.
and I agreed. The lightsaber combat in that, just the feedback of the vibrations when you either hit the robot in the dojo when they're flinging at you, or bouncing back blaster fire at
Right.
stormtroopers that amazingly can aim in that game.
Right.
I mean, obviously, it would be boring if you just stood there and
They
all the
just
fire just went around you. Just be like, ah, wow, okay, this is fun, this is great.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Well, speaking of Star Wars, I think what's happening right now in the gaming industry. We got a couple good Star Wars topics to talk about.
Oh man, I'm gonna warn you. You're gonna rub the tip of an
Oh,
iceberg,
I'm gonna rub the tip a
and
little bit.
I'm going to explode with some Star
Oh
Wars
yeah,
information.
we're gonna get into this, but first let's talk about EA losing rights to Star Wars. How big is this? Yes, yes, we are
Thank
all
you.
cheering because the greatest thing that we've got out of EA was Battlefront 2, and look how much of a disaster that was off the start. And you can't say that like we've been getting good Star Wars games. Yes, we have been getting good Star Wars games, but they're made by independent companies that are being licensed by EA. It has nothing to do with EA actually creating these games.
So, if I could make a quick revision, I believe so. EA lost, well, not lost, but the exclusive rights to Star Wars games reverted back to Lucasfilm after
Right.
the contract.
Yes.
So,
Correct.
EA, I'm sure Lucasfilm and Disney don't mind making some more money off of EA. So
Oh, of course not.
there could still be some EA titles, but I think they're going to be outclassed and outshined by Lucasfilm actually stepping up.
Oh, well, let's
Um,
hope so.
Given some of the people that are heading Lucasfilm Gaming right now, again, kind of like Ashes of Creation, you're actually getting fans in the driving seat of creating Star Wars games. Again, I stink at console and PC games, but man, if they start cooking up some of the things they're talking about, I will be playing them, even though as crappy as I am at them. Um, but what this means is you get the corporate BS out of the way. You're going to start seeing, again, fans creating the content that fans want, that they might actually listen to some of the stuff. And again, EA stands for Evil Association, in my opinion. The pay to win BS. I
Oh
can't
man.
believe you have to grind 80 hours to play as Darth Vader. I like, are you serious? And that's based off of like someone like me who sucks at those games, or again, like on consoles and stuff. You for me to be able to play one of my favorite characters, I would have to grind maybe not 80 hours. That's based off of the basic just playing the round and getting the points off of it.
Right.
That's an 80-hour grind of you just being in matches and putting a rubber band on your joystick and making your character run around in circles. That's all I'm saying. And maybe I got better and I get it. You have to play to do that, but I also I mean, take for example, a lot of people right now. I've been fortunate enough to work. I started my own business. I'm doing this podcast with my best bud. I don't have the enough time right now to sit down and grind on Battlefront 2. And I don't want to spend my hard-earned money. I don't want to spend my hard-earned money on loot boxes that may or may not give me the ability to play Darth Vader or give me the booster packs to get the XP. That's BS, man.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't like it's a slap in the face to a Star Wars fan and just an avid gamer. Like, why? Why would you do that? Like, why can't you just make your game content more fun for someone to come back and play to?
Yeah. Well,
I
EA
know they
is just following a trend, and that's the problem. With the whole loot box thing. You got EA with their major sports titles. Putting loot boxes in, and then I'm just talking about timeline stuff here, and then you
Mhm.
got everybody else on the industry looking at what like games like FIFA and Madden are doing, and adding these crazy loot box systems in, and it's just this domino effect of everybody jumping on board, and now we're starting to see the gaming industry fight back, or the consumers of the gaming industry fight back, and not standing for this crap. And that's all EA does now, is release
Yeah.
shitty sports titles that are just revisions of the last year's game with barely any changes on it, and you're buying this game for $60-$70. Like, come on, guys. Like, you got
Yeah.
to be smarter than this. Like, EA is taking your money
It's
and
like
running with it.
it's like NFL 2021 season. The newest feature is that your created career character can get involved in a sex scandal and possibly have
Possible
performance enhancing
DUIs.
drugs this
Yeah.
time. Yeah. or your if you play your cards right, you can punch your wife in an elevator and nothing
Oh,
happens.
jeez. So the
Domestic abuse, not funny unless both parties know karate. Just saying.
yeah. So yeah, like with
Terrible.
the whole EA losing rights to Star Wars, as a group of fans of the Star Wars community, we should be rejoicing in this moment. We are getting a good group of studios coming together that are going to start creating good Star Wars games. And there's a lot of rumors going out right now, which we will actually talk about in a little bit, because we still got a lot of things to talk about when it comes to Star Wars. But we're getting there. We're getting there. We have The Mandalorian as a TV series on Disney Plus, which is absolutely fantastic. Like, holy crap, it outshines the movies, and we are actually getting good content as far as Star Wars fans go.
So, as a connoisseur of the Star Horse, I have been following avidly what's been happening at Lucasfilm. Now, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I know a lot of people have been covering this and following it, but um, evidence has come out through different interviews and other pieces that the creative force at Lucasfilm is shifting. Bob Eager, I'm probably saying his name wrong, and I'm sorry about that.
Bob Eeyore.
Uh, Eager. I guess I'll just make some Star Wars. So he pretty much oversees that section of Disney for Lucasfilm, and honestly, there's been a lot of evidence. I'm sorry, you may like Kathleen Kennedy. If you do, that's cool. There have been a couple cool things that have come out
I
under
I
her
don't.
reign. Well, a couple cool things. So
Yeah.
I'll elaborate here, but um, we'll put a pin in that. Let me come back to that. So Kathleen Kennedy has pretty much subjected herself to losing creative control or creative insight on a lot of the titles of that have come out, that are coming out now. So originally in Mandalorian season 1, she was a part of that process. This is before Filoni and John. I'm gonna just call him John because I suck at pronouncing his last name, and I don't want to sound silly. But before John and them were brought in on season 2, Kathleen Kennedy uh, subjected the cast and crew and writers and directors uh, to a lot of just nonsense. She has a lot of creative differences. You can check back on, you can check up on old interviews with her. She openly announces that there's no material for us to work off of in the Star Wars universe beyond the movies. Even though Disney said that Legends was not canon, you still have a lot of rich storylines that have great character development for our old characters and even newer iterations that you could feed off of. Just for example, from The Force Awakens, Finn FN1287, whatever his name was, is actually based off of a character in Legends who was named Finn and becomes a very pivotal character in a couple big storylines that ran in Legends. And I mean, there was even that. So it's like it's weird that they do that and the writers can pull from that. Or even Ryan Johnson doing the force projection thing. That is from a Legend story. So it's odd that some of her stories come from that, but then you openly denounce that Legends doesn't have a good source material for you to base off of.
Right.
So basically, if you go back and watch The Mandalorian season 1, you can see that there are some creative differences between the episodes. It's not as cohesive. It looked like it was being pulled in a couple different directions. Well, evidence comes out that some directors were fired. Other writers that had creative differences with Kathleen Kennedy were kept on, but she was actively bringing in other writers to make sure that her narrative was
Right.
being explored.
Yeah.
Now, what this does is it convolutes the story. So what happened was when they brought John and Filoni in, who are both successful at cohesive storylines that play off of source material, pay an ode, but also bring in a new creation. So Ahsoka Tano, that is Dave Filoni's baby. I love Ahsoka. When she first came out, I felt like her character was a bit odd and didn't fit well into the storyline, but
Right.
then
Yeah.
he
Yeah. Same
literally
here.
fixed her in one story arc and made her relatable, gave her took away some of that sass and made her this character striving to
An
be.
important character to the story too. You know, like she's a very important character.
So let me rack your brain a little bit. Ahsoka is honestly, she's almost like a Luke Skywalker of the Clone Wars saga. She literally embodies the hope of what the Jedi Order could have been.
Right.
She walks away from the Order before that based off of something that they did. She starts showing, in a way, without becoming a Sith, she shows them and teaches them what you're doing is wrong. And some of your ideals don't work out. On a grand scale, in anything with philosophy, ideals only work so far. Everything's not black and white, and there are gray areas. It's what you call gray Jedis. But again, I don't want to dive down too many rabbit holes. But anyway, I'm just pointing out that Dave Filoni, Star Wars, Clone Wars, the animated series, like I'm a grown adult. I can still go back and watch that and enjoy some of the episodes. Are some of them kind of kiddish? Yes, I get it. But Star Wars is literally a 12-year-old's fantasy of space wizards. So I get that it gets pandered to the younger crowd, but it's okay. And then you have John, who comes from the Marvel the Marvel setup. He knows how to keep things interconnected in a way that it can stand alone, yet still give the tip of the hat that it needs to do to stuff that's come before. And Filoni and John themselves are both humongous Star Wars fans and know that from a fan point or from a fan's view, we want to explore some of the great things that we haven't been able to see from a young Luke Skywalker or
Right.
a possible what Leia did. Because one cool part again about the sequel trilogies, there were good parts, but collectively as a whole, it fell flat.
Yes, definitely.
But one of the cool parts, Leia gets Jedi trained. Who saw that coming? And she gets to train. She gets to train Rey on some stuff, and then it makes sense of why she did the weird space witch
Right.
thing when she gets blown up, because it
Everybody
just
was
didn't make
questioning.
sense.
No. There
You're
was no
like,
context.
when did she become force sensitive?
Right.
Besides her connection with her twin, because that made more sense. I mean, speaking to a twin right now, there is some type of I'm sorry, big reveal. Sorry, spoiler alert. But it's like literally I'm anyway. But yeah, like there was so many plot holes in the sequel trilogy. John and Dave are obviously going to take the driver's seat, but basically, if I'm going to reel this back to the gaming industry, Disney and Lucasfilm are realizing we're going to make way more money if we explore some of the
Yes.
unexplored parts in between movies. So something that did come out underneath the Kathleen Kennedy empire, because I feel like she's kind of like Palpatine right now, and John and Filoni are literally Luke and Leia, whatever. I feel like they're literally playing out their own trilogy right now in real life. But like Rogue One, I love that movie. It's so well done. It's an in-between piece. And it's also it is a great example of the tragedy in the original theater. It doesn't end well for the characters you've grown to relate to and you root for. They die. Everyone dies. Rebels die. There's no
Right. It's got a
but
very sad ending to the movie.
it's very sad,
Yeah.
but
I think it's
it
probably the
puts
saddest.
but think of this, in that tragedy, it plays and builds a new hope to a whole nother level. So
Mhm.
when you start a new hope and you see Leia's people do all that and they do the Vader thing, well, even and oh my god, the Vader scene in that movie, oh, it turns my lightsaber on every time I see it. But the fact that all of those people sacrificed and you now get to see what they went to just to get those Death Star plans
Right.
to
It
the rebel forces,
it
it heightens it so much.
it
And it's
ties so well with A New Hope. Like it ties it in perfectly. Like to do that in our time to tie it in with an old movie back from the 70s is beautiful. Like it's perfect.
it's the ode to the rich story that's been put in place, that's been thriving for 40 years.
Yes.
The second you step away from that and you disregard a character or possible storylines, which the sequel trilogies did, and I'm not hating on J.J. Abrams. I loved Force Awakens. A couple choppy parts, but it was an exposition movie. It's a trilogy. It
Mhm.
has to set a tone.
Right.
Uh, at some point, yes, it's exposition, but it did such a good job. A tip of the hat to old storylines. It was pretty much a New Hope 2.0, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with. But it left it open-ended, but even as a fan, or I do some writing myself as you do, you have to point out that there were some plot threads that were just left open because J.J. Abrams is obviously doing everything right now in Hollywood, Star Trek, all the other different things. He didn't want to be the only guy that added to this. And this was something he even voiced, that I love Star Wars and I would love to do the trilogy, but he was like, I shouldn't be the only one on it
Right.
because there are other people that can add to it and build off of that. The fact that honestly, I can't tell you all the other stuff that Ryan Johnson's been on, the director of The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi had some amazing parts as a Star Wars fan that made me go, yes, that's awesome. The light speed through the dreadnought. Oh my God, that was so cool. Flipping when Snoke gets killed and Kylo and Rey do that fight scene.
Right.
Oh my goodness. How did they film that scene and then film the rest of that movie and go, yeah, that's good. That's good. No, no. And I'm sorry. We'll debate about this. You people, anybody, please come at me.
Okay.
I'm happy to talk to you about
Really,
Luke
really quick, if you
Skywalker.
guys, I want to hear you guys' views about this subject, about how the Star Wars movies and everything. Your opinion about them. Put them down in the comments, please. Like, we would love to hear about what you guys feel about the Star Wars movies.
Good or bad, we'll definitely jump in and leave it always open. And obviously there might be more episodes where we just jump in and answer some of these comments.
Yes, definitely,
Just so I
definitely.
can throw some Star Wars knowledge and clout at you. Anyway, healthy debates are always fun. Toxic stuff, please, just if you're gonna be silly about it, we're probably not gonna even pander to you. Um, but even getting back into the gaming industry, I know back in the old days on the consoles, there was Luke Skywalker. You got to explore a little bit of Luke Skywalker starting the Jedi Academy, even though you didn't play as that. Again, Knights of the Old Republic, please make another rendition. I want it. I give it to me. Give it me.
So yeah, really quick, while we're getting closer to the end of the podcast here, let's have a little bit of a rumor time with this subject, because EA losing rights to Star Wars is actually making a nice, a nice like ending to the story that we're on right now, because Star Wars, or EA losing rights to Star Wars, is actually opening up companies to focus in on the successful Star Wars game. So, for instance, there's a rumor floating around right now that I think they're called Aspire. Yeah, Aspire is a company that creates and recreates the old KOTOR games for the your mobile applications. So they are doing, or at least that's what we're hearing about as far as rumors go. They're going to be doing a new KOTOR game with Lucasfilms, and they already have experience with the KOTOR games as far as mobile applications go. So now we might actually be getting this a KOTOR game that we're actually wanting, not just like, a new Star Wars game that slaps the KOTOR sticker on top. We're actually probably going to be getting a KOTOR game that from a company that already knows how KOTOR actually works. So that right there is just great news as far as the way the gaming industry for Star Wars goes, and I'm really excited for that. If the rumor's true, if the rumor's true.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if any developers will hear this podcast. If they do, I love it. Please listen to this part. Someone clap EA's cheeks on Battlefront, and you could
Oh,
literally recreate
please.
what came out on the Xbox 360,
Please,
and it
please
would be
do
better
this.
than what they did.
Yes, please.
Do the characters right. Um, for the love of God, please, just an online based game in itself can be cool, but I could honestly have hours of fun playing the bots on the old 360 version of Battlefront 1 and 2.
Well, add that option in.
Battlefront
Like,
2's
come on, add that option in.
integration,
Yeah.
yeah, like heroes versus villains, although that was kind of a cool thing for Battlefront 2 on the newer console or the newer generation of it. On the old generation, I can't tell you how awesome it was to get on Mos Eisley and good versus evil got to go just ham for
Yes.
20 minutes. You could set your custom map. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And just honestly, and again, what I loved about that game, yeah, you paid $49.99, $50 for it, but all the content was unlockable from the
Right.
get-go.
Right.
the leveling system was just based on how much you play. If
Mm-hmm.
you play, you get better stuff. If the more you played, you'd get the commando rifle. And yeah, and honestly, the game was so well done that even though I maxed my stuff out, I could still go in and play for hours and hours and hours. Like I put more time on that console game than I probably have anything else. Anything else. Like I love Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. I will even buy a 360 right now just to be able to play it, or if they put it back on the Ultimate Pass thing on Xbox. Whatever. Just you could do that and it would be awesome. Knights of the Old Republic, definitely you could do that. You could even explore some young Luke stuff. I mean, look at Mandalorian season 2 season finale.
Oh, that'd
Sorry,
be
spoiler
great.
alert, Luke comes in there. Follow him on his journey on rebuilding the Jedi Academy. And I'm sorry, you don't have to explore the Kylo Ren part of that story. It would be fine. But now you could even tie in back into, does Luke meet Ahsoka at some point? That could be a cool thing.
Yeah.
Maybe not because she's her own thing, but
Right.
still, Luke. And I'm sorry, I'm going to get back into the movies real quick. It doesn't make sense that Luke exiled himself. Let's go back again, a tip of the hat or an ode to the original source material. Luke went against the orders of the Ghost of Obi-Wan, Yoda, and went back and fought Darth Vader, knowing he probably couldn't beat him. He doesn't give up. He doesn't. It doesn't make sense for his character to give up.
No. No.
Even 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 with the death of his family member or Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, even if that were the case, that he knew he was going to turn to the dark side, I feel like he would think he has more clout to change him than be fearful. It doesn't make sense. Luke is supposed to be one of the strongest Force users out there. So basically, with the Luke Skywalker thing, it's just, it doesn't make sense for you to go the route you did with Luke. It doesn't make sense that he would not try to convert Ben first, and it honestly doesn't make sense why he would kill him.
They don't. They
He
don't.
didn't kill Darth Vader.
Yeah, they don't do the character
Spared.
any justice. Like, come on. Like, this is Luke Skywalker we're talking about, the hope of the Jedi Order. Like, and you didn't do him justice. Come on,
No, and,
guys.
and and honestly, he would learn from Yoda's mistake of exiling himself.
Right.
That was the wrong
Mm-hmm.
move.
Mm-hmm.
And it was. It couldn't have been. Yoda could have possibly helped out more or did something better. Again, Yoda's Yoda, but he trained with Yoda and learned that exiling himself is not the way to go about it. He has to be the good force in the universe.
Right.
Um, Beyond that, we could talk for hours on
Oh, hours.
how the sequel trilogy messed up and Lucasfilm has made a few mistakes on not paying tribute to what George Lucas put in place, which again is why we're going to love a lot of the new episodes and stuff coming out on Disney Plus, because
Yes, please.
John and Filoni are bringing Lucas in as an executive producer, and they're not going to
Yes.
pull a Kathleen Kennedy and kick him off and not allow him on the sets. And just a quick note, she literally betrayed him because there were certain conditions put in place. Even though he sold Lucasfilm for $4 billion to Disney, he was asking to be a part of a lot of the process and directorial, some of the creative things. The sequel trilogies literally threw out everything he had written. Um, and then when they started doing these live action shows, he was brought on to help out a little bit, but Kathleen literally did not like where he was trying to go with the thing, with some of the creative directives, and literally got to the point where she was just like, "Yeah, thanks, but no thanks," and literally disregarded some of the conditions of him being a part of the processes, and yeah, and she's openly said this in interviews, like, "Oh yeah, just gonna do my thing."
No, no regard to what the people want. It's what she wants.
Yes, and honestly, I figuratively, I don't wish her any physical harm, but creatively with the Star Wars universe, I want Darth Vader to throw her down a shaft. Only figuratively, it would be funny. Honestly, I wish no ill will on anybody. It's just she obviously misses the whole concept of the fan base. Um, yes, you do want to create new material for newer generations, but you can revitalize characters in a way that the newer generation can fall in love with them again and still keep the old fans happy that they're getting newer iterations of it again. Nintendo season 2 season finale. But again, um, we love talking about pop culture, comics, movies, gaming
Games,
for
yes,
sure,
everything.
uh, everything. So we really appreciate everyone that stuck around for this hour-long podcast and listen to us ramble on about game reviews and the silliness that has occurred. Me personally, this has been so much fun, and we appreciate everybody that's going to follow us and continue to show us some love.
Yes, we love
Morphine,
all
if
of you
you want
guys.
to take us out.
Yes, guys. Thank you all for your support. You guys are great. Expect a lot of new content coming out. We're even going to have nice videos posted on our YouTube channel if you guys want to check that out. Also, stay very close to my Twitch channel because we will be doing D&D sessions and even some new game footage for you guys. So you guys can have a lot of fun and chat there as well. As always, my name is Morphine, and this over here is the Nathan the Laser, and he is fantastic. You guys are fantastic as well. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.